going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out Tombstone, one I'm actually pretty excited about. I think this looks really good. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. Now tuning into the encountered culture.
In your face, trying to pretend that you want it to end. I'd rather be a drinking with my friends. When we go out, you never see us again.
As promised, today we're taking a look at Tombstone. So let's see what we've got going on. Continuing the 90s inspired retro cards. For those of you who collect in box, I get it. You know, it does look good, especially if you have like everyone that's come out so far. I can appreciate it. Well, I won't be doing it, but I can appreciate it. So I do think the figure looks really good in the card there. Just a good look. All right, so Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, inspired by the animated series. Hardened Criminal. That's all you need to know. Tombstone, there's a warning. There's the figure. Flip it to the back. There's your blueprint. There's your figure. He comes with a crowbar, extra set of hands, extra head. Although the way they show it is not exactly how the swap happens. We'll get into that. The dangerous and high-priced hitman known as Tombstone faces off against Spider-Man and other heroes of New York. Very broad. Important information down at the bottom. Let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box. This is a nice suited body. Like, this is just going to be a good buck for a while, I think. You know, there's a lot to like about this. It would be so much better if the heads were on a more traditional Marvel Legends style instead of the pegs that go in, right? I don't know what that was about. Like, I'd like to know what the motivator for something like that is. Even here in the plan, you can see it seems like it was supposed to be a regular head on a ball joint, not this sort of plug-in as it is. So that I do think is going to be a major downside for this figure. It definitely limits your kit bashing potential. You know, we've only got a couple of heads that match that. I'm thinking like MCU only, right? Iron Man and maybe Talos? Maybe. Anyway. Cool looking figure though. Aesthetically, it looks great. This black with the blue shirt just balanced against that opaque gray. Like it's a very striking figure, at least from that standpoint. Let's take a closer look. As I was saying, you can just see how nice this looks. This blue contrasts so well with the black of the suit against the skin, you know, that gray skin. So I really do like this figure aesthetically. Absolutely better than the original release. And of course, I'll have that as a comparison, but it does look good. I will give it that. Let's take a look at the hands and the alternate head, and then we'll get into some articulation. For your first set of hands, you do have just an open hand and then a trigger finger, which is weird because he comes with a crowbar, so I'm not sure what trigger he's pulling there. And there's not like a regular grabbing hand for the crowbar, so that's interesting. But I guess if you have an extra pistol or something that you want to put with them, you're good there, and then now you just have an extra crowbar lying around. When you pop the head out, so that's what you're working with, that's your port system. Your ball is on the base of the neck there and just plugs right in to the hole there. Second set of hands is just a pair of fists, so you do have two sets of hands, two heads. I like that. I know I said, I'm giving a little flack for the crowbar with the trigger finger, but hey, it's got two heads, two sets of hands, and an accessory, so I'm an easy crowd to please, right? This head looks awesome. This will definitely be the one that I use for the display. I did notice, though, that mine has like a weird smudge going on the side there, so I'm 2 for 2 on minor face discrepancies, QC issues. It's a minor nitpick. That seems like something that'll wash off, though. I don't know, kind of just a weird little smudge. Face looks great, though. This expression is fantastic. I think this is going to look super clean in the display. I am liking that. I guess my big complaint about the head swap system is that say you wanted to use this head, I know the skin tones are way off. This is a darker gray, but you could paint it whatever. If you wanted to use this, you don't have that option. So that would be the big gripe there. All right, let's get into some articulation though. Start with the head, work our way down. As you might expect, you are going to get basically nothing with your head movement. So you're not going back, you're hardly going forward. So it is about as good as that's going to get for your back and forth. You get maybe a little side to side. Of course, you can turn it whichever way you'd like. You are going to be limited with your head. Going here, full rotation at the shoulder. Arm will go out to about there. Do you have your upper bicep cut? Of course, arm will go all the way around. Double jointed pinless at the elbow. Doesn't look too bad. And then nothing at the forearm. Wouldn't expect there to be. You do have your hinge at the wrist, so you can move that any which way you'd like. On your trigger finger, you do have the appropriate one that you'd like for a trigger finger. So that's nice. As far as the ab crunch goes, so he does have like the rotation in the diaphragm. Doesn't feel like there is any additional ab crunch down at the bottom. Of course, if you know, let me know. I tried to see under here. I don't want to break the jacket apart, so I don't want to dig too deep into there. But from what I can feel in here, I mean, it just feels like he has that sort of middle of the chest, lower diaphragm rotation there. Leg will kick out to about there. It will go out to about there and backwards. Not too much. Double jointed pinless at the knee though. And you do have your upper thigh cut as well. Nothing at the calf, and your typical range of motion down at your ankle swivel there. Nice flat feet, so no issues standing him. Yeah, I mean, for the few things that do limit his mobility, it's a great looking figure. How it's going to be in my display, I mean, he's just there with a bunch of goons. Not going to be in a super dynamic pose. He will be posed, but I think I'll be all right with the limitations. Totally fair, though, to point those out, as they do limit for some people. For your size comparison, I do have him backed up against our previous Tombstone figure. This was a fine figure for sure. However, I like this new one so much better. I think aesthetically it works much better for what I would like to see in my display. Doesn't mean it's going to be the better one for everybody. If you still love this original Tombstone, I don't think there's a necessity for upgrading. But if you're looking for a different aesthetic, I mean, I like the suit. It's going to go much better with like Hammerhead, Chameleon back there with the suit on. So I think for me it's perfect. Doesn't mean it has to be that great for everybody else. A little bit taller than the previous release. Size-wise, bulk-wise, fairly similar. With the height being one of the major changes to the character's design, right? So of course we're in a suit, a little bit lighter in tone. So a different approach for this version of Tombstone. Love to hear what you think about it down in the comments. Which one you prefer, which one you plan on displaying, or if you plan on displaying both. Like, let me know about that too. That'd be, I'd be interested to hear about that. For an additional frame of reference, I have them backed up against one of your Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man figures and one of your Pizza Spidey figures. So that'll give you an idea, depending on which Spider-Man you have. Renew Your Vows is going to fall in there as well. But that gives you an idea. His stature being much larger than Spider-Man, so you like that. I think that gives the good imposing feel to the display. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There is your Tombstone, your new Tombstone from Marvel Legends on your Spider-Man retro card. It's a good figure. It's got some things that could be better, some changes that probably would benefit the figure, but from an aesthetic standpoint, I do think it hits a lot of marks. It does have a striking look. He is imposing against your Spider-Man figures, so it does hit a lot of good things. There are just a couple of things I would have loved to have seen differently, and I think that's a common complaint with this figure. So I'm not, putting anything new out into the world here, but just having a different head, the regular head porting system instead of this one that they use so infrequently. So it really doesn't help you if you're looking at it from like a kit bashing or customizing standpoint. I guess customizing you'd be okay because you're doing a lot more, but it does limit you there. Suit looks great. Skin tone looks great. Facial expression is a standout on this figure. I love this facial expression. I just think it looks menacing. And this one, I mean, it's not a bad face sculpt either. He's just got like a kind of crazy grin going on. So do what you want with that information. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for checking out the video if you have. Thank you for staying this long if you have. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.
I'm being erased, I'm being replaced. Counterculture in your face. It's fun to pretend that you want it to end. I'd rather be drinking with my friends. When we